Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. Found an article today, very interesting. This is about 5 generations of wealth. So we'll read the article. I have some thoughts on it because a lot is at stake here regarding the people behind this call to action, what they're doing, and the fact that they're basically taking a bit of a risk on what they're doing. So let's just go to the article real quick and then we'll read through it and then we'll have some more thoughts in just a second. So, as you can see here, it says fifth generation Kanoo Group member of that Kanoo Group, fifth generation, is moving a $6 trillion trade market onto blockchain rails. Okay, so this is from Coindesk. So it says here in summary, as you see in the middle section here in this sort of orange-green box, it says Abdulla Kanoo, a fifth-generation member of Bahrain's wealthy Kanoo family, is expanding the family's legacy into crypto through ARP Digital, a blockchain-based payments infrastructure firm. ARP Digital aims to solve a structural gap in global South trade by using digital assets to move money between emerging economies faster, cheaper, and with fewer intermediaries than legacy banking systems. So, headquartered in Bahrain and licensed by regional regulators, ARP has processed more than 3.5 billion in volume and recently integrated with Fireblocks to link Gulf payment corridors with a major global institutional digital assets network. So for more than 135 years, the Kanoo family, one of Bahrain's wealthiest families, has helped build the Gulf's entire commercial infrastructure. The family, with a net worth of up to 6 billion, owns businesses spanning shipping, logistics, travel, and finance. So the article continues. Abdulla Kanoo, a fifth-generation member of the 135-year-old family business, is now involved in crypto. While he refuses to reveal his family's or his personal Bitcoin investments, he says he's invested in digital assets since 2015, remains faithful to Bitcoin, which at the time of this article was around 65,400. So Abdulla Kanoo also believes the next generation of global commerce will not be built on ports or banks, but on digital rails, or more specifically on the blockchain, where programmable money is king. So Kanoo is the co-founder of ARP Digital, a digital asset infrastructure project focused on allowing the movement of money between emerging economies faster, cheaper, and with fewer intermediaries. The Gulf was where global capital was stored, he told Coindesk. The next chapter is about movement. So Kanoo is not launching another crypto exchange, nor is he pitching a new token. He has his goal set on expanding the family legacy on a global scale. Trade between emerging economies exceeded 6 trillion in 2024, according to Kanoo, representing roughly a quarter of global trade. What matters more is the size of the problem we're pointed at, because that's what actually governs our growth, Kanoo said. So, structural gap. The problem is surprisingly simple. Global South institutions increasingly trade with one another, yet many still rely on legacy banking systems designed for a different era. Payments often pass through multiple correspondent banks. Settlements can take days. The capital sits offshore. Access to dollar liquidity remains uneven, affecting business and profits. That's not a niche, Kanoo said. That's the structural gap we settle into. ARP Digital was founded to fill that gap, he said. So, headquartered in Bahrain, ARP holds a Category 3 crypto asset service provider license from the Central Bank of Bahrain and has received in principle approval from Dubai's Virtual Assets Regulatory Authority, VARA. So Kanoo said his company has processed more than $3.5 billion in transaction volume across more than 450 institutional and corporate entities. Last year, volume grew fourfold, he added. ARP's most recent milestone is its integration with the Fireblocks networks for payments, a platform connecting payment providers, fintech firms, and financial institutions across more than 100 countries. For ARP, the deal provides access to one of the largest institutional digital asset networks in the world. For Fireblocks, it creates a regulated entry point into Gulf payment corridors. So Kanoo is betting on a future where the Gulf will continue to be the global commercial hub he believes it is. For a century, the Gulf stored the world's capital, Kanoo said. By 2030, it will move it and settle it. So you can see from this article, originally from CoinDesk, the total addressable market, according to Abdulla Kanoo, is 6 trillion, and 6 trillion would be the trades taking place between the global south. Okay. So then, the structural graph noted here, the problem is simple. Global South institutions increasingly trade with one another, right, year over year, yet many are still relying on legacy banking systems designed for a different era, really meaning a former era. And then what the problem that most people are trying to address is, as it says right here, payments often pass through multiple correspondent banks. That's true. Settlement can take days or more, really, and then the capital sits offshore. So it's really hard to access, or you're not really sometimes sure who's holding onto it at one point in time or another. So access to dollar liquidity remains uneven, affecting businesses and profits. So it's interesting that they still mention dollar here, perhaps referring to the US dollar. But either way, interesting article. It would be interesting to explore further ARP Digital. It does seem that what was noted here towards the end of the article is that the company, ARP, has processed more than 3.5 billion in transaction volume across more than 450 institutional corporate entities, right? And then last year volume grew fourfold, he added. So there you go. With that being said, wanted to bring that article to your guys' attention, just letting you know there's a lot of companies out there trying to solve a lot of these problems. So we are hopeful that it's going to be a success story for Mr. Kanoo, fifth generation. But with that being said, also wanted to quickly bring your guys' attention over here once again to cryptodeposit.org, which of course is who we are and what we do. So a lot of tutorials on the YouTube channel if you wanted to get started. As you can see from the main page, if you just type in cryptodeposit.org, you've got the deposit cash tab on the far left. You've got the buy stables over here. If you connect your wallet, you can get USDC, USDT, etc. You can deposit stables, okay? You can use Ethereum, USDC, other options. So, and then you got your holdings options, your bills. So you got to connect your wallet to see that. Borrowing and lending. So this has really been built out. It's available right now if you guys so wish. Of course, there's the OTC, which is really sort of a RFP, request for proposal. Fill that out and we'll get back to you right away. And then of course you got your statement tab if you've got any statements, messages with XMTP, activity, of course, would be your history of transactions. And then there's the exchange tab and the swap tab. And let's not forget, at the bottom of the main page, of course, you again go to the white paper. We have a YouTube on the white paper. Verification, we've got some details on that, specs. The referral program, of course, strongly recommend that if you guys wanted to refer folks. And then, of course, our press terms of service, privacy statement, and a little bit about the company itself. So just wanted to share that with you all. Much appreciated for your guys' time and attention on today's brief video on this article. I found it quite interesting. Wanted to share it with you guys, let you know what a very prestigious, multi-generational family over in Bahrain is doing. And we will keep you posted if there are any newsworthy ARP Digital updates. Otherwise, thanks again for your time and attention on today's video here. Hopefully you can like or subscribe or all that good stuff. Alternatively, tell your friends about cryptodeposit.org. And until we have another video, hopefully very soon, wishing you all a great day, great evening, wherever you all may be, and see you again for another video, hopefully in the very near future. Good. Goodbye, everybody. Take care.